Honk. What up, guy fans? Welcome back to another interview. I hope you're all doing great. And today, my special guest is Gissette Valentin. Gissette, it's such a pleasure having you on the channel.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome. So, of course, Gissette played Sarah in season 3, episode 6. You may remember her as the person that was kicked in the face by Tori and said, "You chipped my tooth, bitch." And yeah, she legit, like, I feel like your character wants revenge. You know, that menacing stare that you gave Tori. I feel like things aren't over after that. I mean, you get chipped in the tooth. Like, yeah, you can't take that lightly.
That was my goal. Iron her down. It was great. Because, crazy story. I actually ended up chipping my tooth. Probably like less than a week after that.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, oh my god. That's crazy. So how did that happen? Did someone kick you in the face?
No. Yeah, I got kicked. No. I was just flossing. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my teeth are really tight together naturally. So I think I just went too hard, and I was like, oh god, okay, well, here we are. Chipped tooth now.
Damn, you know what? It's almost like, you know, you were thinking about what Tori did, and you just got so angry with flossing. You're like, chip my tooth now. Oh, damn. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever chipped my tooth, but I remember I had a friend in school who like chipped a tooth, and oh my god, like she made the biggest deal about it though. Like everyone in the school almost knew. It was like it was in the middle of class, or she's like doing this, and then I don't know how she chipped it, but it was funny. But yeah, let's talk about so before we talk about Cobra Kai and that scene with Tori, let's talk about, like you said, like right before the interview, that, you know, you go into acting first, and then of course you're a stunt woman as well on the side. What got you into acting, and what inspired you to go that way?
That's a good question. I started acting when I was 12, but I was diagnosed with shyness. So there was one time where I literally ran from a camera, like legit ran. And so I ended up leaving acting and getting into dance. And so I danced for over 20 years. I did it professionally for about 12, 13 years, hip hop and contemporary.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And then just probably like 4 years ago, I decided to just get back into acting and commit wholeheartedly. Right. But I think the thing that draws me into it is just the excitement of bringing to life a character, and each character has a different story, whether it's, you know, Sarah in Cobra Kai or whatever other characters I played in other shows. And so it's just exciting to kind of dig into that different walk of life and see, why is she so angry? Why does she want to fight somebody? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it opened up your mind to different avenues. So.
Right. And of course, you were saying, like, you know, the acting is the thing that kicked it off, and then the stunt side. So like you said you did some like contemporary type of dancing. So was that like, how would you compare that to like normal dancing? Is it like way more advanced, and does that prepare you a bit more physically?
Each style of dance it's kind of its own. That's a good question. It's kind of its own thing. Like, I don't think there's really a comparison, because you have ballet, you have contemporary, you have hip hop, but each one is just like a different energy and like a different style, but they all prepare your body for, you know, physical things. But contemporary is definitely, I would have to say, more, I don't know if I should say more, but it's definitely an emotional driven kind of dance. And that could be why I was drawn to it, because I'm, you know, drawn to acting for the story and the emotion and things like that. So it's like contemporary is kind of the same thing, just more of a physical avenue. So.
Yeah, because it's like, I feel like that, I mean, that kind of dancing must be so fun though, like the specific one you mentioned, because like, I'm just imagining, you know, that, you know, props to anyone that does like ballet or any type of dancing, because it's very difficult. But like hip hop specifically, doing all these break dancing moves is so cool. Like, so did you feel that you know, being a stunt woman then, so started off as an actress and then being a stunt woman. Did you? Why did you want to become a stunt woman? Was it that you wanted to like you had this ability and you were like, I want to like try something new, or was this something you've always actually wanted to do?
Oh, well, with stunts, I don't consider myself a stunt woman at all. I think the stunt men and women, they definitely put a lot of work and time and their bodies and their lives into these things. For me, I do just more fighting because I know I'm not going to jump off a mountain or a building or a car hit or anything like that. So I definitely have respect for the stunt men and women. But with fighting, I think I'm sorry, I totally forgot your question. You said dance?
Yeah, like just generally like just like what got you into like doing like kind of stunt work,
Yeah, actually I did a indie project, and just doing it in the indie project is what got me excited about the fighting. And that's actually how I met John, is we were fighting together, and I was like, oh God,
awesome,
so exciting. And it could be like my inner rage that everybody has, but I was like, oh man, this is so cool. I can like fight people without actually fighting them. So it's just exciting, and it's all physical activity. I'm a big advocate for health and staying active, so it's just exciting.
Right. Is that you must get such a thrill. Like I'm not a stunt person, or I used to do martial arts, and I love that thrill and that adrenaline you get from doing something very physical. Even just going to the gym and training, it's that pump or that energy you get when you're doing all these scenes. That you must have got that thrill, especially with that scene with Peyton. Just like almost like it's a real fight, but it's just for it's a scene. It's not real fight, but it feels like one.
Yeah, definitely.
Is that like, did you find the similarity within doing like fight scenes and your dancing, like the adrenaline rush? Was that something that you admired about like doing all these other scenes?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Right. Yeah, because it's quite, I mean, I would love to learn more about like stunt work and all that kind of stuff, and I feel like it's so complex, and it might look, I mean, John and all the others, they make it look so easy when they do it. It's like they could make going into a chair look so believable and you could just be like, damn, how does he do it? It's just, you could be sitting down, I throw a chair at John would just be like, he'll do his thing. It's like, dude, it's amazing. But
I will say this, as far as chairs go, I feel like my falls are not as elegant as probably like a veteran stunt person or somebody who's been doing it for a long time. But so I agree with you there. Yeah.
Right. So like being an actress and doing stunts as well, like who in the industry like inspires you or did inspire you in your journey to become who you are now?
Wow. There's been a lot of people, actually. I feel like, and forgive me if I get too deep here, but
no, of course, I love having a good deep chat.
I feel like everybody that we interact with in some way, shape, or form inspires us or changes us. But as far as like the core people, obviously it'd be my mom, single mother. She worked so hard, and she showed, she never backed down from a problem. No matter what it was, she always came out smiling or having some crazy, probably inappropriate joke. So that's always inspirational. John inspires me every day, just watching, all the work he puts into his videos and his filmmaking and his, stunts. Of course, Hito and Janelle, especially Janelle, because we have a similarity of being a woman, but and just, her strength and her courage to just kind of like go out and kick ass. It's definitely inspiring. And I have a few other friends that are inspiring. So it's just my tribe, I would call it. The people that are close to me inspire me every day just to keep pushing, keep striving, don't feed the idea of giving up, just going for it.
I love that. Tribe. That's a really cool way of putting it. So like, this is kind of leading on to another question that I had, like how do you stay motivated in such a competitive industry? Like, there's this industry, you're getting roles, you're getting big opportunities. Sometimes you do an audition, you put all that energy into it, and sometimes it doesn't go the way you want. But like, how do you stay on top of, all these kind of things?
It's hard. I will say that. I won't sugarcoat it. I think it's a mindset thing. I think when you have it in your mind that you're going to do something, you're going to succeed at something, just keep focusing on that. It doesn't matter, what happened this morning, what happened a week ago, what happened 10 years ago when you were a child or in a specific relationship or job or whatever it is. It's like none of that matters. Like you can look back and say, oh, okay, that's where I was. But when you're in the moment and you're striving for something, it's just you have to stay focused on that goal. And I think that's what helps. I get up early. I'm a morning person. So I think that's what helps me get up in the morning, even when I went to bed at like 3 a.m. for, studying lines or just a stressful night. So it's just staying focused on that end goal. Yeah.
Right. I love that. I feel like that's a really great mindset to have. Just like not think about the past, like just focus on and move forward. I feel like that's something that my idols have also taught me. So yeah, I love that. So let's talk about that scene with you and Peyton. So did that scene? So the way it comes out, I feel like we didn't get the full shot, which is a shame, because you just see that angle of you fighting Tori, and then it kind of just then it leads to the kick and everything. But did that scene happen in? Was that always the intended version of it, or were there like different versions of it?
I believe that was the intended version. I was hoping I was going to be able to play a little bit more basketball, though. They cut that short. I missed out on my MJ skills. But
wait, are you a basketball fan?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, because I'm a huge Laker fan. So
okay. That's why I said MJ. I'm like, I probably know like 3 basketball players. But I think it could have been just in my mind. In my mind, I thought they would show more of the basketball, but it makes sense the way they showed it because they had to show 3 of us. So,
right, and that line, the "you chipped my toothpick," was that improvised or was that like again script?
No, that was scripted. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it's just so natural in the way it happened. Like I loved it. It was a really good line, and the stare after as well. Like
that was improv. That was my improv that in there.
Do you find that easy to do, or because obviously you said you started off being really shy, like couldn't even be on camera? Like, how do you feel you've come since like that moment? Because obviously you can deal with it so well now. So like that must have been quite big for you.
Yeah, I will say this. I do sometimes still find myself kind of like, oh God, I can tell you right now before this interview, I was freaking out. I was like, God, this is live. Oh, people are what if I mess up? That inner shy child comes out. But with acting, I think, like I said, you're jumping into a different character. So in this specific show with Cobra Kai, it's like, okay, Sarah isn't a shy person. So playing Sarah, she can't be shy. So it's kind of tricking the mind to just be that character who, isn't me. So
yeah,
I think that helps. And that could also be why I've, been drawn into acting, because it allows me to just step out into a different world and not be shy.
Right. And I just remember in school then like plays, and I would really get shy, but when I'm into it, I don't think of it. But I can really relate to you in the sense being camera shy. Like, not that I've been an actor or anything, but like just generally, like there was a time where I was so shy if like I was like someone would look at me. Like I remember this girl in school I really liked. She looked at me and I got really shy. I just like looked the way and everything. But yeah, obviously you grow and develop, and I would just like look away. I was just like I couldn't even handle a stare. And then now I'm on YouTube. It's like I'm comfortable with being on camera now and everything, but I feel like that's got to be a moment as well. Like, just you're on camera and you're just like, shit, this is a big deal. Like, I'm doing this. I'm in Cobra Kai. I'm in this film. Like, that must be like. I like the realism though in that. Like, no one's like even though like some people obviously very confident. Like, we're humans at the end of the day, so we have these like things, Okay, so your martial arts experience, You said you learned a little bit about fighting, and I remember seeing a short clip of you and John, and you guys are badass. And I was curious, what kind of martial arts did you do?
The form of fighting and grappling that I have experience with, I did wrestle in high school. So that was kind of like to me, I'd rather be on the floor versus standing and fighting. But so I did wrestle. I did wrestle in high school. But as far as recently, it's just mainly kickboxing and oh my God, I'm having a brain fart. What am I doing in life? No, kickboxing and jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu, oh, dope. Yeah. I think jiu-jitsu is like, it's come up quite a lot in the last 10 years, I'd say. Like a lot of people are starting to really appreciate it. I mean, jiu-jitsu is like, I learned a bit with my brother because he used to do a lot of like MMA, and it's really like interesting. Like, see, because it's not just about striking; it's so much more. A lot of grappling and stuff. So, do you feel that you are better at jiu-jitsu or better like striking?
I am. Like I said, I'd much rather be on the floor. I'm not saying I'm great, but I feel like where my comfortability is. But then, as far as standing and striking, I'm a kick person. Like I can kick all day. But when it comes to like throwing punches, it's exciting, but it's just, to me, it's not as exciting as kicking. But I think that's also because of my dance background. Like, we had to do the kicks and the leaps and all that stuff. So
yeah. Have you ever tried capoeira? Because your background would be really good with that.
I tried it. I can't say I succeeded at it, but but I love it though. I love watching it. John does a little bit, and he attempted teaching me a few moves, but there's just certain things that my body just doesn't want to do.
Right. Yeah. You just like trial and error. You always got to try it.
Yeah.
But like, no, capoeira is like it. It's so again, it's very dancey. But I think there's a scene in Cobra Kai season 1 the tournament. Someone's literally in capoeira, or it's like a type of karate, but it's literally capoeira. And I think if you had to fight someone with capoeira, that'd be so complicated. Yeah, you'd be like, wait, where are they going to jump? Like, how do I like stop them from moving? Like, it'd be really complicated. But
now, have you done it before? Did you say that? Or
I haven't like done it like myself, but I have seen others do it. But if I was to try it, that would be crazy. I'd have to like post a video of it or something. My failed attempt at capoeira. It'd be like amazing though. But yeah, like, have you actually tried to? Is there any styles that you've like recently learned, or have you just really trying to develop the skills of jiu-jitsu and just kind of get as expert on that?
Yeah, I'm the type of person that I really like to hone in and focus on what I'm doing. It's once I start doing 3, 4, 5 things at once, my brain is like, no. So I definitely have to do one thing at a time. But one thing I have been getting into, at least in my head, I found an interest for Muay Thai. For me, that's very interesting. So I've been working on dabbling a little bit with that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Have you watched On Back with Tony Jaa?
No, I haven't.
Okay, because that's a film I think of straight away when I think of Muay Thai. Like, he's insane. Like, he's probably the best Muay Thai kind of like stunt worker, I'd say, in the industry right now. But yeah, I mean, Muay Thai I love it. It's very your elbows, your knees. Yeah. It's very aggressive. I'll say that.
That inner rage I was talking about earlier. That's why I'm like, I want to elbow somebody.
Right. Yeah. I love the style though. It's pretty cool. So with like with all like martial arts and everything, is there a specific action movie that you love, like you adore within like this kind of genre? Do you have like a list?
A list.
Yeah.
Oof, I don't know if I have a list. I know John mentioned this. I grew up with a lot of Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
A lot of his style, and I'm a fan of comedy. So his stuff, just acting wise and fighting wise, just draws me in. So I think anything Jackie Chan has done, I'm just like, yes.
Yeah.
All of it, you know?
He's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, I have so much respect for the stunt community, and watching his stunt team, because we watch a lot of like behind the scenes things, so we see like the work and the physical things that him and his stunt team are doing, and it's just incredible. I'm like, how does a human body even do that and get up walking again? Like,
right? Yeah. How does he freaking at his age as well? Like, I said this to John. Like, yeah, throw a chair at Jackie Chan. He'll make it so entertaining and so graceful at the same time. And that story John said about like Jackie learned something like straight up in the moment and he performed it. I was like, how do you even do that?
Yeah, I know. I think it just comes with experience, I guess, just years of doing it and training, because I know a lot of dancers that are like that. I can't say I was one of them, but they would like walk into a dance class with like 10 minutes left and like watch the choreography once, and then they're just like killing it, like doing it. I'm like, hold on, I need to do it by myself without music first, and then jump and try and kill it. But, I think it's just, again, it's that focus thing. People just focus on one thing and that's their thing.
Like when you're in the zone, like that's it, you're in the zone, and like nothing's gonna stop you. I mean, I'm curious what zone people like Jackie Chan get into when they're doing these scenes. It must be it's like second nature. But yeah, very, very inspiring for sure. So I mean, all these films and stuff, I mean, like comedy, action, all this stuff, like it's definitely something I grew up with and really enjoyed. So yeah, Jackie Chan, like I used to watch Jackie Chan Adventures as a kid, and then watching like Rush Hour and stuff. I mean, that's iconic. And then of course things like Karate Kid. So what was your first let's say your first like experience of the Karate Kid film?
Of the film?
Yeah.
I will say this: when I was younger, I did watch The Karate Kid. I watched things like Three Ninjas, and just kind of because I think there was a time where like everything was like karate in movies. So I thought it was great. I mean, it was fun. It was exciting. And of course, back then, it's like, oh wow, these are like kids. They're like doing karate, like, oh, yeah. And then I grew up. I was bullied a lot when I was a kid, so I was like, oh yeah. It's just, you're like cheering on the whoever's fighting. You're like, I can do that, kind of in my head.
Yeah. Right. I love how much the Karate Kid inspires. Like the fact that Daniel, was picked on by these cobras, and then he kind of. He has a Miyagi in his life. Imagine having a Miyagi in your life. Like, you could solve any problem. Like,
we do have a Miyagi. His name is Hito Koda. No.
Well, Hito is like a Miyagi in a way. Yeah. I mean, to you guys, he could be. Yeah. Janelle as well. They like that. Yeah. They got that same. They like that vibe. I mean, if they were your parents, that baby's going to be a badass straight away. Like,
oh well, they do have a badass kid. So
yeah, I bet they're like ninjas and they're doing all these like crazy things. But yeah, so your character enters Cobra Kai. Obviously, very menacing. One of the natural athletes, as Chris says. Do you see yourself as a Cobra or another dojo?
Ooh.
Let's say this was like these dojos were real and you were going to join Karate and you're like, oh, I really want to join one of these places, but
yeah, I haven't thought about that one. Let's see. Me, myself. Yeah, I think it would have to be Cobra Kai.
Right. Do you like believe in the whole mantra, or do you think like to an extent like Johnny? put a twist on that.
To a certain point. It's hard for me because I'm like, well, I don't know. Miyagi-Do, that's kind of like chill. It's fun. Everybody's
right.
And that's like my heart. But then I'm like, oh no, man, I could just.
He's on that lay the smack. Yeah, Cobra. Yeah, I agree because like, as much as I love Miyagi-Do and I love how peaceful it is. Again, it's Miyagi's karate. I always will respect that. But then Cobra Kai is kind of like that. Yeah, it's very badass. It's very, I can be aggressive, so I feel like that's a really good way of outputting that style. When I think like Miyagi there can be a bit too like peaceful and chill. You're like, no, I want to do something like more like bit more enthusiasm, I guess, and a bit more like aggression.
Yeah.
Like with Muay Thai and stuff, you wouldn't do like Muay Thai calmly. It would be very aggressive, very, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, with Kreese's like whole view on things, do you think that is perfectly justified in the way he believes, or do you think he is quite extreme?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think with season 3, I think it definitely shows from, again, forgive me if I get too deep here. No I think with them showing a little bit more of his backstory, it kind of puts you in the place of like, okay, that makes sense as to why he's the way that he is, and then you kind of like understand it a little bit more. Not saying that it's 100% right, but in his mind it's justified. So it's like, okay, well okay, that explains it. Yeah.
I think when we see the backstory, you obviously learn a lot more and you understand why Kreese is who he is. Although I feel like there's still like a fine line that's kind of within that like way of thinking. And I think he kind of crosses it a little bit, but I feel like there's got to be something else that we haven't seen from his backstory. And he's definitely one of the most, I feel like, misunderstood characters in a way. Do you think, well, from like season 3 as a whole, what's your favorite fight scene? This is definitely something that's gonna be a big question.
Mine, no, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Favorite fight scene? I think it would definitely be you said season 3, right?
Yeah.
I think it would definitely be the house fight. Yeah, just from the way they set it up, the camera work, the character work, everything. The switch with Jacob or Hawk. It's hands down. Yeah, house fight.
For sure. I mean, other than this, John, I absolutely love his little part in the fight with Khalil. He's like, "Yeah, let's go, bitch." That was so good.
It's actually funny because I was on set that day, and when he did it, I was like, "Oh." Like I hated him in that moment because he was in the character, and I was like, "Oh, here's that
guy." That's great because he told me he improv that, so because he wanted obviously time for that switch with the stunt double and for Khalil, but he ended up throwing Khalil. He's like, "You're coming with me, son." I love that. But that fight was crazy. I really, really have to give big props to the whole stunt team to make that happen, because I know that original plan was to be outside and the weather kind of ruined things. But I mean, that fight was so insane. And the thing with Hawk, that was huge. I mean, that was definitely one of my favorite parts of season 3. What character do you feel resonates with you the most throughout the series?
Hawk.
Definitely Hawk.
Yeah. Definitely Hawk. I think it's, actually, let me take that back. I think it's Hawk the most, but I think I'm like, when I'm going down the list of characters in my head, I'm like, let's see.
Let's see.
I think Johnny too.
Yeah, I love Johnny. He's so, I just love how like he just does not give a shit. He's just kind of like, I'm me. That's it. I like the fact that that relationship with him and Miguel, I think those two are probably my mains. But that relationship's really awesome within those two. Johnny's really funny as well. I mean, that's something I love about the character. Just it's like he doesn't even mean to. Like, you know, when he's trying to go on Facebook and how do you do this? And that's in the scene. The whole him trying to impress Ali, that was great.
That's what I love about it too, like how they kind of the show in general, but definitely with his character, is how they kind of have fun with the generation gap.
Right.
You know, like you said, with him and the Facebook and him and there's another scene where he was on the phone and he's like, "Is this a prank call?" But just because it was like he wasn't familiar with the new like terminology or the new ways of life that are going on right now, and that's something I can relate to. Not saying, you know, I'm still young, but there are some things where I'm like, wait, what are you saying to me right now? Because what letters are you using to describe that? I don't get it. But it's fun because, you know, it makes, like I said, it's just having fun with the situation. So it's always good.
Right. I mean, the big three, big shout out to them for writing this so well. I absolutely love the way they've written the characters, and they've also continued a huge franchise from the 80s and not ruined it, because, you know, so many reboots and films, they really get them wrong, because I think the writing's very it's like a cash grab, you know. It's not done with passion. Did you think Cobra Kai was going to get as big as it was when you first saw it?
I don't think I necessarily had a specific thought about that. Because when I started watching it, it's when, you know, John was working on it. And so, you know, I saw like the behind the scenes. I was kind of like in it a little more than like the average viewer. So in my mind, I'm like, this is a cool show. So it was already something that was, I guess, big in my mind, to answer your question. But I know, you know, maybe YouTube isn't as big as like Netflix or Amazon or, you know, all these other things.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised that it's the way that it is. Because like you said, I mean, they did do a great job, you know, carrying it into now. And then also they were smart with it and bringing, you know, working with the original actors. And I think that helped a lot, because you get that original flavor that was in the original Karate Kid. So.
Did you get to meet, I mean, I'm sure you got to meet Martin because of your scene, but did you get to meet the other guys like William and Ralph?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was cool. I mean, they were both super chill, especially Will, but they're really down to earth. So I mean, I don't. They're their character. Yeah, it's very like natural, very grounded. It was cool.
Yeah. That must have been a surreal moment. Like, these guys, you know, they were big in the 80s when in that film, and then just seeing where they are now, they're just older. Because when I first saw Cobra Kai, I wasn't so aware it was part of Karate Kid. Although I noticed Williams Zabka, I was like, wait, isn't that Johnny from the original film? And then I was like, oh, this must be to do with Karate Kid then, because this guy looks exactly like he's trying to portray Johnny. And then and these guys are literally they've come back, they've wiped the dust off with all their martial arts, and I mean, they've done a great job in what they've done so far. How do you feel about the ending of season 3, the fact that they're finally teaming up?
How do I feel about it? I think it'll be interesting. Yeah, because I did enjoy the separation, you know, because it adds, again, that, you know, fun and all that. But it's interesting. I'm interested to see like how far it goes with them working together. Just knowing the characters, and, you know, they're complete opposites on how they train. You know, John is a little more like, you know, just do it. And Ralph's like, so I'm excited to see how it works out.
For sure.
It's funny though.
Yeah,
I add more comedy.
Because you definitely see that. Sorry, because we've seen like throughout even season 3 how they were trying to team up. You know, the whole Tango and Cash situation with Johnny and Daniel, and then that's like a glimpse of what they would be like together. They will definitely have their disagreements because they're so different.
Yeah.
But ultimately, if they want to stop Kreese, obviously they've got to put things aside. And I feel like there's a really big lesson to learn there for like viewers like ourselves. Like, you know, sometimes you might have to work with someone that you're not you don't fully understand. You're like, oh, this guy's a jerk. Oh, I hate this person. But like, you have to work with them sometimes. And
right. Yeah.
I mean, there must have been. It's like in school, right? You get like partnered with someone. You're like, oh, why them? Why don't I work with this person? Can't I work with my friends? We do this right, like a school project.
Yeah.
But yeah, these guys they're very childish, although they're fully grown adults. I love that humor as well. It's very nostalgic of the 80s in a sense. And I mean, yeah, like that whole 80s nostalgia throughout this is pretty cool as well. I like the way that it's showing the younger generation about it. Like, what would you say the 80s like influenced you growing up, or was it more of like the 90s, that kind of stuff?
I feel like I was influenced through multiple time periods. My mother is and still is like really big into like music and film and all that. So I grew up with movies and films from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, 90s. Now, it just sounded like a commercial, but but 80s particular. Like I love 80s rock. That's where I thrive. And I used to dance with a group way back when that our main thing was 80s rock. Yeah, so it's just.
I mean, the soundtrack for Cobra Kai is like, so reminiscent of that. Perfect. I love it. So badass. Yeah, the thing is, I didn't know so much about all the 80s bands, but I knew the odd song, but then realizing, it's such a good. Oh, the music is great. Like, I think the soundtrack for Cobra Kai and like smashing like AC/DC, these kind of guys, it's great. I mean, is that like something you have on your gym playlist, or when you're like?
I do sometimes, but yeah. But I think it adds a different layer to the show for sure. Like actually having, because it puts you in that period,
right?
So it's fun.
And like you can see that throughout the characters as well, like the mannerisms. Like Hawk, for example, he's really you can see like he would love that 80s era of rock. It's got the mohawk and everything. Johnny's obviously rubbed off to him, so he's got all of that inspiration and everything. There's actually something that's not Cobra Kai related I wanted to ask you about. So I know that you're in that new movie, The Tomorrow War, that stars Chris Pratt, J.K. Simmons, and a few others. Is there anything you can say about that, or is it like nothing?
What am I allowed to say?
Spoil the whole film.
I think it's going to be a fun movie. Right now, I believe it's set to come out or it's summer this year. I'm not sure if that's changed because I think it's being switched over to streaming versus the theaters because of COVID and everything going on. But I think the story is fun. It's great. I mean, it's Chris Pratt. I mean, he's fun. He's and it's. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the storyline.
I think is it something to do with time travel, or it's like something to go into the past kind of thing, like
to the future.
Oh, okay.
So it's like going into the future. That kind of thing. Yeah, it's like going into the future to fight a war that let me see if I can explain it right. That it's like going into the future to fight a war with people from the past who don't know about the war in the future just yet, unless they get drafted.
Yeah.
I think I explained that.
That's very Terminator. I like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
No, I'm excited. I actually did some ADR a couple weeks ago for it, and it looks great. Like the cinematography for it. The director, Chris McKay, he was great to work with. He did Legoland, or Batman Lego, Lego Batman.
Oh, that was great. I watched it with my family. Like my mum loved it. It was really funny.
And then Chris was great to work with too. Chris Pratt. He was super sweet, down to earth, funny, very professional, which is always great. So I'm excited about that one. I'm excited for that one to come out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I love I don't know if you're a big fan of the time travel type of thing, but I think it's one of the coolest concepts. I'm a huge Marvel fan, so watching things like Endgame, all that, and the way they were dealing with it, I loved it. and stuff like Back to the Future, you know, those kind of things.
Yeah.
It's such a crazy concept, though. Can you imagine someone from the future kind of coming to prevent something? Again, Terminator, like, you're like, what's this guy's problem? What's he? You're not from the future, mate. Get out of it. You know, you don't really think it's real, but like, have you ever thought this is getting deep now? Have you ever thought like that time traveling is real, or do you think it's like, because Albert Einstein almost created it before he died, so like, it's a crazy thing.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that I think anything is possible.
Yeah.
I think I definitely, well, I don't want to say definitely, but it's harder for me to believe that what we see is the only thing or the only option in life. You know what I mean? Like, just, I'm going to go check my mail today. That's the only thing, you know, like, so I definitely think there's other options and other ways of life and other, you know, possibilities. So I am a believer of that for sure.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I feel it's like that whole like, concept of we're the only living beings in like the universe. Like, come on, man, there's definitely aliens chilling. Like, they're somewhere.
I feel like it's scarier to believe that we're the only ones in this giant, vast.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, we're alone, floating around.
Yeah. And like the crazy thing is, like, there's that whole theory of like there's like multiverses. There's like a parallel universe. So there could be a universe where I'm in Cobra Kai. Like, that's like crazy.
Yeah. You're the Karate Kid in that universe.
I mean, yeah, it's like literally there's so many crazy concepts out there, and I feel like, you know, I believe in like all the stuff of the universe. So like, yeah, films like The Tomorrow War and futuristic, I love it. Do you have any roles that you really want to like have the chance to do at some point, or like anything in particular you've always wanted to be in?
I've always wanted to do a period piece.
Right.
Not there isn't like really any particular time exactly, but I don't know. I think it would be exciting just to kind of, and we're talking about the future, but actually going back in time, you know, and play a character that was, you know, alive, you know, back then, but just with the costumes and the, you know, I feel like a lot of movies in that world have great writing because there's some truth to it. So it's, this is John.
Well, you're freezing. Oh, what's up, bro? How's it going? Good to
How's
see
it going?
You, man. Good, man. Good to see you again. How's things?
Good. Just chilling, working and chilling. You guys having fun?
Yeah, we've been talking. It's getting really deep. We're not talking about like the universe and shit, dude. Like, we were talking about Cobra Kai movies. Yeah, just having a really good chat, man. Yeah.
It's like, how the hell did we get here?
Yeah, it's like we're talking about stunt work and all this. Now it's just like, you know, there's a freaking parallel universe out there of us. Like, crazy, I'm not joking. I didn't smoke the blunt or anything before this interview. I'm genuinely like,
right. Yeah. You guys have fun. I'll let you get back.
Yeah, it's good to see you, John. For a second, it froze there, and you said, "Oh, John." I was like, "Wait, where is he?" Yeah, it's good to see him.
But yeah,
so
like,
where were we?
Yeah, and there's a lot of great writing. Not saying that other styles and genres don't have great writing, because they totally do. But yeah, just going backwards in time, you know.
Right. I think that's cool because like you can really get an idea of what it was like to be in that era, and of course, like things are so different now, so you really don't understand it. And it would be cool to, if I could go in time travel, I would definitely want to relive like certain eras and history and like crazy events in the past. Like, can you imagine seeing something really iconic that happened, like being there in the moment? Like, that would be...
Is there something that you would want to see from the past?
Man, see, you know, like, so are you into like those documentaries where they like talk about conspiracies and crazy stuff like that? So like, let's say like the whole JFK stuff. Can you imagine being there when it happened, or perhaps like maybe I'm not sure entirely on top of my head, but like that's just an idea. This is a series that James Franco did with where like he went back in time. I think he had to prevent it or something, and I just really made me think. I don't know exactly. What about you? Where would you want to go to, or do you like to be part of a moment?
Oh, that's a good question. I never thought about that one. I didn't expect you to flip it back on me. Wow. Let me think. Back in time.
Gissette goes back in time. That's the name of like a movie.
That comes out summer. No, yeah. That's a good question. I have to think on that one. But I definitely agree with you. Any sort of like historical event, like I automatically thought of, like Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, just like different iconic figures and situations would be interesting to see. And for some reason, I don't know why this keeps popping up in my head, but the start of the hippie movement just kind of pops in my head as an interesting thing, just to kind of see the transition of what made a certain group of people kind of transition into that way of life, and that just like mentally, like where were they at mentally to where they're like, oh yeah, we need to stand up and live differently, basically. Yeah. And I think too, now that my brain's going, I've recently been studying the 50s, like 50, 52, 50, whatever. And I think in a weird way that would be interesting. Like the American dream would be interesting to see from an outside perspective, not being it, but the outside perspective as far as, like everybody wanted to, be married and have a certain amount of kids and live in this house. Like it just seems so different compared to now, because now everybody's like, I want to travel. I want to see the world. I want to do all this, like just like the complete opposite. But that'd be interesting to see.
For sure. Like all this kind of, I would love to live in another era, just like even before social media and stuff, like maybe just like how did people live in that era? Like they were so in the moment. Because I feel like now there's so many distractions. So like, you'll be on your phone, like, okay, what's up? And like before you didn't have that distraction. So you would be so focused on what's happening. And I feel like it's crazy, like there's pros and cons to everything with even like with the movie industry, like it's obviously huge now. So during COVID, like how do you feel you've been affected as an actress, like trying to get roles and stuff? Have you felt like you need to adapt in a certain way, or is it been like, yeah, this is just another day at the office type thing?
For me specifically, my own personal experience, I feel like the casting departments and productions kind of made it a little bit more accessible because of COVID. Like a lot of actually every audition now is self-tape. So it's like you don't have to worry about like how am I going to get there, traffic or I gotta move my schedule around to like make an audition. It's just like, okay, well I just study it, tape it, and send it in. So to me that's convenient. And I was very fortunate to work on a show before COVID hit, but then also it picked up like once, I think it was like kind of like the end of October, like once COVID was kind of not dwindling out, but productions were feeling a little bit more comfortable opening up again. So that also kind of kept me occupied mentally, as with work. But yeah, and I think also, and I'm sure a lot of people had this happen, but being stuck inside and just kind of with yourself, it makes you think a lot of things, as far as like yourself and your goals and your way of living in life. And so I think that was a benefit for me too, because I'm like, okay, I had time to like sit down and map out where I want to go. Because when you're stuck inside, you realize how great it is to not be stuck inside. So you're like, okay, I gotta plan stuff out now because I'm ready to go. So it gave me time to just, like I said, just map out and refocus and get things going once stuff started opening up again.
Right. That's the best way to go about it, right? Because like if you're going to be stuck indoors, I mean, there's so many things you can do, and I guess like that's the best approach, is to do maybe something you've always wanted to do, or in, you know, if it's like, for example, your case, yeah, just like, you know, smashing out these plans, and it just makes you more prepared. And I feel like, you know, even if there's something bad, there's good in it. So the good in it is the fact you can learn more, you can really polish on things. Did it initially worry you when things were shut down, like it was going to affect maybe the projects you're working on, or do you think now there's always a way around things?
I think when it first happened, I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone, because I was actually in New Orleans working when it happened. And once everything was shut down, it was like a Friday. I think it was in March on a Friday. We had just started another episode, and I was about to my way on, and one of the PAs comes in. He's like, "All right, that's it. We're shutting down." And I turned around and I was like, what? Like, it just seems like completely unbelievable. And then the hotel that I was staying at was right in the middle of New Orleans, the city. And I just watched it go, like, coming in and out, checking out, drinking at the bar, like doing it just like crazy, to just completely empty. It was like a desert. And I was like, this is so bizarre. So it's like when you're in that moment, it can be scary, because you're like, okay, is this really, like, what's going on? Like, people are leaving, like, should I be gone? Like, why am I still here? So you start, like, having all these like crazy dark thoughts. You're like, oh my God, this is like a movie. But I think after a while, I think just through time and history, you know, everybody learns to adapt. It's just part of human nature. So after a while, I was like, well, you know what? We'll figure it out and we'll adapt to it. And, you know, eventually things will flourish again. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's just such a shame that this industry's been affected by COVID, in the sense, like, yeah, projects have been delayed, you know, and as a fan of a lot of movies, stuff like Cobra Kai, I was always concerned. I hope it doesn't get in the way. But I'm just really glad that there's ways around it. And yeah, like, you know, things are looking positive now. But I mean, it's still crazy. It's been a year of all this craziness.
I know.
Like,
that is so insane. Yeah, John and I were actually talking about that earlier. I was like, oh my God, it's been a year. This is weird, because it's like, where did it go?
Right, like it's almost like it was a month ago it kind of all started, and damn, a year already. Like,
yeah,
it is nuts. But yeah, this is all this is obviously like the best way to see it is, yeah, getting through it. And like you said, you couldn't have said it better. So what we'll do now is we'll take some fan questions. So we'll pop some people in the stream. We'll take a few people one at a time. It'll be all Cobra Kai related, maybe some other questions, but this will be super, super fun. So, guys, I'm going to quickly send a link, and let's see who's brave enough to join.
Let's see.
I mean, we both get, you know, what it's like to be shy, so we ain't going to judge you. All right, who's the first person that's going to pop up? Let's have a look. Can you see the comments?
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool. Oh, we have someone already. King Cold Blood. What's good, man?
Hey, what's good?
Hi.
That's good.
So yeah.
Oh, we have someone already. King Cold Blood. What's good, man?
Yeah, what's good?
Hi.
Good.
All right, so yeah.
You have a way of muting that, so then it doesn't.
Tell us what was it like playing high schooler?
It was it made me feel very good. That's for sure. I was like, oh, you want to play a high schooler? Okay, well, I'll do that. Thanks. So I'm flattered. But so that's the one thing. But it was, I don't know, because I feel like the high schooler that I play, I feel like the Cobra Kai high schoolers are totally different than real world high school. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I'm like, it's like totally, because my high school is not like that. But
yeah.
So like I said earlier, I mean, it was just cool experiencing a different world. Just kind of jumping in and like, okay, well, here we are.
For sure. That was a good question, King Cold Blood. Thanks for joining, man.
Thanks.
Wait, you good?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for joining, man.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, take it easy. Okay, who we got another few people. Where'd this guy? Hawk, what's up? Hawk. If this is the Hawk, if this is Jacob, imagine. What's up, man? You there? I have a no mercy policy. If no one responds within 5 to 10 seconds, I just have to unfortunately remove them. You there, bro? Unfortunately, we're gonna have to move on. Not sure what's going on there. Kellen, you're live.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
Nothing. I was just curious, what was it like in your tooth chip by Tori?
I was angry. It was a fun moment though. Peyton is really sweet, so it was interesting for. I feel like I'm a pretty nice person, so it was interesting to have two nice people just kind of going at it for the throat.
Yeah, and just like act like these very aggressive versions. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, thanks for joining, Kellen. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
No worries, take care. All right, let's add, I guess, this guy. What's up, Wild Wolf?
What's up, man?
Hey.
How's it going?
All right, you?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. So what's your question for Gissette?
My question is, if you could choose to fight anybody instead of Tori, who would it have been?
Ooh, that's a good
like
one.
this.
I think I would fight. It would have to be Hawk.
Oof.
Oh, that would be an awesome
That's even
fight.
worse than Tori.
Considering what he did to Brooks. But
but Brooks kind of deserved it, so.
I don't think Brooks is as skilled as Sarah, so I think like that would be a really fun fight. Dude, that would be pretty insane. If there was no holding back, holding back, like that would be a pretty cool fight. I'm not even gonna lie. That would be cool.
Well,
that was a great question, dude.
That was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for coming on, man.
Bye.
All right, cool. All right, we'll take one more person. Who've we got? Aaron, what's up, man?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey.
Good.
So my question is, if Sarah was to fight like the characters in the show, who do you think she could definitely beat, and who do you think she would be like on the same skill level with?
Rickenberger.
Yeah, I'd fight Rickenberger for sure. Same skill level? That's a good question.
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
Probably.
What do you think? Skill. What was the first one before skill level?
I said like who could you definitely beat?
Oh,
Like,
definitely me.
With their skill level. Is that what you said, Aaron?
Yeah, so like who would they? It would be like a close match with, or like an equal opponent.
Tori was definitely one of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Tori was pretty. Yeah, I think Tori would definitely be the one.
Kyler, because he's just like a wrestler.
Oh, Kyler, that's right. Yeah, because he wrestled.
Oh, that's a great. Oh, yeah, that would be. Oh, that would be pretty interesting to see.
That would be interesting. Kyler,
that would be, that's a great question, man.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah, appreciate you joining, man.
Yeah, thanks.
All
yeah,
right,
thanks
sweet.
for having me.
I'm gonna join for a few minutes.
Oh, sweet. Okay, we'll take. We got some other people. Let's take Eric. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Shaboon?
I remember
Hey, Eric.
Hey, what's up, John?
Eric, we lost.
So yeah,
How's it going, man?
This has been bothering me since the summer. You guys were in Judge Decision, right?
Yeah.
Where?
Jacob Short.
Oh, yeah. Judge. Yeah.
I love that short.
I saw you, Gissette, and I was like, dude, she was in Jacob's video.
Yeah.
So many people thought that short was a part of Cobra Kai. We had to like push the myth for so long because everyone was like, "Oh my god, you see Jacob's hair? This is Cobra Kai. Like this is season 4." And we're like, "Dude, we just shot a short film."
You know what?
Yeah, no,
Someone put it on YouTube saying, "Oh, this is the Cobra Kai season 4 trailer," and they just played the short film. I was like, "What?" It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I watched it again, and I saw Rickenberger, and I was like, like these two are both definitely, yeah. No, I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
You
guys were great.
It was a fun day. Thanks. We filmed all of that, I think, in like a 14-hour day. We got there at like 9 a.m. or something, and it was like 2 hours drive, right?
Yeah.
And then we like wrapped at like 11 at night, and it was in this really deserted location, and it felt like something out of like World War Z. Like you thought like when it got darker, there was like a zombie coming out. It was like a military training grounds that are like retired now. And it looked cool for the short, but man, dude, it was creepy being there like late at night. it was really bizarre.
No, it was
just one day.
Like just seeing both of you in that short film.
Oh,
cool. Yeah, thanks, man.
I appreciate you coming on, Eric. It's good to see you, man.
Thanks, Eric.
All right, thanks, Shamoon.
All right, take care. All right, we'll get one more. We have this my fam. What's up, man?
Hey. Okay, I have a question for Gissette. And if you were Sarah, who would you rather fight, Sam or Aisha?
Oh shit, that's good. That's a good question. That's what more people need to ask.
Sam or Aisha? I would go with Sam. Only because I feel like, obviously she's Miyagi-Do, so it's kind of like a different style. It would be interesting, like we were talking about with Capoeira, it'd be interesting to kind of see how, you kind of adapt to where they're going, where she's not going, and just
right.
That was a really good question.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a good one, man. Thanks for coming on, man. That's a great one.
You're welcome.
All right, peace out. I've got to ask you guys one thing, right? So, out of you two, who is more competitive?
Oh, in what?
Generally, like, it could be to do with what you guys are doing, or just like, generally, who's more competitive out of you two?
I'll let you answer.
Okay, I think I'm more competitive when it comes to be like with other people, but when it comes to between us, she's more competitive.
But that's because he wins at a lot of things. I'll say that. So it's like if we're playing a game with a group of people, as long as I beat him, I'm fine.
Yeah,
like, I got you, John. I don't care if I'm the loser, as long as I beat you. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, "Hey, babe, what's your score?" I'm like 600. She was like, "Oh, mine was 750." I'm like, all right,
mine was 601.
But we both still lost.
Oh my god, that's crazy. But honestly, this has been super fun with you guys. Gissette, it was great interviewing you, and John, it's nice to see you pop in as well. That was awesome. And yeah, guys, thank you for everyone joining. This has been super fun. And make sure to tune in for the next one. So I'm signing out, and I'll see you guys soon.